sitting on Chrome, ignoring my phone like what were they when I was homeless?
What's good, everybody? What's good? You know it is. It's your boy, Cardinal Bud Crawford. E.S. Red, if that's what you want to call me. And we are back for another one. Alright, y'all. So, new topic. Terence Crawford ducking Errol Spence Jr. to call out Danny Garcia. Or Nacho Garcia, as I like to call him. He's the Cheese King. Alright, y'all. So, I'm pretty sure the whole boxing world knows Danny Garcia recently took on Jose Benavidez and beat the living bejesus out of him. So, you know, now, of course, Danny Garcia's career has been revised, and they are now talking big fights for Danny Garcia once again. The first fight I heard about them talking about when it came to Danny Garcia was Keith Thurman. And I thought, okay, you know, that's a pretty good matchup. You know, Garcia versus Thurman would be a good fight. You could gauge where both of these guys are at, you know, in their respective careers if they faced off. And it would be a good fight to determine possibly who gets the winner of the Undisputed fight. But the more I think about it, the more I'm like, you know what? Danny Garcia, I don't even think he needs to be in the talk. He's moved to 154 anyway. So I'm not sure if he even wants to go back down to 147 to challenge for the Undisputed titles whenever this thing plays out. And they were talking about Thurman Garcia at 154. So, you know, I'm not sure how Garcia fits into the Undisputed conversation, which I don't even really want to mention him in the Undisputed conversation. I think he's better off where he's at than down at 147. Because if you ask me, I want to see good competition take on good competition. So if I was to put Danny Garcia in the ring with anybody, it would be Boots. Boots is now my measuring stick for anybody in the welterweight division. If you're in the welterweight division, you're now have to be compared with Jerron Boots Ennis. And I think that's a perfect matchup to determine, because we all know Boots is next in line. And I think a lot of people are leaving 147 based off Boots. You know, if Keith Thurman was to move up to 154, I don't think it's a move he made based on there's better fights to be made at 154, there's bigger money. I think it's a move he would make to avoid having to fight Boots. Because the one thing a lot of these guys can't afford in their careers at the moment anymore is another loss. You know, Keith Thurman got derailed by Manny Pacquiao, the storm that is Manny Pacquiao. And he hasn't been the same fighter for like 2 years. It took him 2 years to get back in the ring. He finally got back in the ring and scored him a victory. Pretty good fight, but not on the caliber or the level that he was at before Manny Pacquiao took him down. So, what does Boots Crawford come into play? Is Boots Crawford a good fight? Why would Crawford's team even mention that? Why would they even bring it up, knowing that you're negotiating with Errol Spence Jr.? Well, in the meantime, you got to negotiate with somebody. You can't just negotiate with Spence, especially with the negotiations being stalled out. Is Danny Garcia a good competition for Terence Crawford? No, he isn't. We all know that that's not a competitive fight. We all know Terence Crawford's umpteen times more talented than Danny Garcia. If they got into the ring with each other, it would basically be for ish and giggles. You know, it's basically a sparring match for Terence Crawford. He needs a tune-up fight. He needs another fight to keep him in shape. And that would be just another bag of money for him to get a gimme fight. Danny Garcia has a few fans. It wouldn't sell very well. Would it be a competitive fight? I doubt it. Danny Garcia is really not on that guy's level. Now, you know, with him ducking, if he actually goes through with that, is that ducking Errol Spence? I think it's complicated at the moment because there is such a heavy negotiation going on for that Undisputed fight. I mean, you can call it whatever you want to call it. Ducking, avoiding, pricing out, holding out. It's a million words you can use to describe what's going on with Terence Crawford, but at the end of the day, he's not signing that damn contract that I wish he would just go ahead and sign, so we as the boxing fans would finally get what we want. And this is the thing about boxing and the sport falling off or dying or whatever you want to say. You know, it's nothing for fans to start walking away from this crap. And you know, them putting on these fights that fans don't want to see and then trying to sell it to you for $75. I mean, you know, a smart person would just say, you know, I'm not purchasing this garbage anymore. A smart person would say, you know what, until they start making fights fans want to see, I'm not dealing with paying for anything that has to do with boxing. A smart fan would say, we're going to hold these people's feet to the fire until they do what the fans want them to do. We pay your salary. We pay your bills. We've made you famous. We deserve the fights that we want to see. And until we get them, we're not purchasing any more of your garbage. Now, I mean, these fighters do have to have fights in the meantime. Every fight can't be a super fight. But we as boxing fans don't have to pay for anything we deem unworthy of our dollars. So with that being said, I don't think it's a good fight. I don't think Crawford versus Garcia is anything other than a sparring session and a money grab for both of those guys. You know, a nice check for both of them. You know, they're at the point in their career where they can get a couple of those gimme fights, and, you know, nobody's really going to care. It's not going to affect either one of them. But boxing fans don't deserve to have to go through any more of that. With the state of boxing and the fact that the sport is way down and the viewership is down, pay-per-view buy, everything to do with boxing is on the decline. So I really wish these guys would stop playing politics with each other and just get in the ring with each other and give fight fans exactly what we want, which is a good fight. I can't remember the last time I saw a great fight. You know, I think the last great fight I saw was probably, you know, Spence Ugas was decent. You know, it was decent. But I already knew that Ugas wasn't on Spence's level. So the competition, I base things off of competition levels, and I feel like the competition level was lower than where it needed to be. Ugas was a champion, so it was a fight that had to happen. So you can't blame Spence for going after that fight. But I wish the competition level was a lot higher than what it is. And in the near future, boxing is just going to keep suffering from fights like this. If we get a Crawford versus Garcia, boxing will suffer once again, and fans will once again be disappointed because we're not getting exactly what we want, which is Spence versus Crawford. Spence versus anybody else other than Boots or Pacquiao or maybe a Mayweather is completely irrelevant at this point, and nobody really wants to see it. There might be a few people out there, a few outliers who just love boxing so much that I'll take any fight that they give me and I'll pay for it. Like, you are what's ruining this sport. So with all that being said, I think I'm gonna leave it there for now. It's your boy Cardinal Bud Crawford, or E.S. Weird, if that's what you want to call me. Check me out on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, but you're more than likely to get that response on YouTube if you holler at me over there. So holler at me over there. Yeah, I think we're out of here. It's your boy, and we are Manny.
Born, back from the torn, young shit was born, sorry I'm snoring.